And we're live on Facebook as well. Lori, when I can't find my water bottle when we leave.
For sure. I bet I can read it. I don't remember where it is.
Okay, so 258.
We'll have to watch the live.
Here's the 58 and the 2. And let me grab you a bag.
I was gonna come last month and I just, oh, that was yesterday. Between me moving and my kids moving, and then me trying to move in, and
Just
them
lost your
trying to
schedule.
move in, and I was trying to watch the baby for them so that they could move
You
in.
have a card there that fell out.
Okay.
I touched my sewing
Oh,
machine once.
forgot
this
to
is
give
one
you
of
your
the day.
There's your pattern.
Is it unpacked now, Vanessa?
Huh?
Is it unpacked now?
Your
And
sewing
the
machine?
sewing machine, is it all unpacked and settled into a
Yes.
sewing space? Good.
Yes. And today I took all my quilt pieces for this one and laid them all out.
Okay,
Now
so
I'll
you're
have
right.
to-
You're back on the horse.
Yeah.
What's your phone number?
801
Welcome in.
885.
If you want to sign in there, if you
9693.
brought a project to show, you can put a name on a ticket.
And I didn't see what this month's discount is for those that.
Simply Charming, or no,
It's the
Yeah.
Sassy Sunflower half packs for $29.90. It's the fabric club.
yeah, that little one.
Discount.
Okay.
Let me try and get you discounts on here.
I was shocked as I was looking through all my stuff after I packed up my sewing room and had to unpack
Oh,
it
yeah?
and try to figure out what to do with stuff. And I went, well, I have a whole bunch of tubs
Julie!
that are empty.
Oh, you need to go shopping.
Hey,
No.
friend.
How did that happen?
Okay, so your total is $10.76.
Welcome
there.
everybody
Give it just a
on
second when it goes
TikTok.
dark.
Oh,
We're
there
going
we
to
go.
start in about 4 minutes.
So
For
now I
our
do it.
Simply Charming Club. We'll do a little demo and tell you about the new pattern.
Unless today. Okay, there is your
All
pen.
right. And Robin came and got Carolyn's today.
Oh, let me get your receipt. Ellen. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome.
Here's a new little notepad that you can put up there for us to write with.
Sounds good.
Everybody in Facebook land, well, there's not anybody in there. They see a lot of this candy. Mhm. Right. I guess I could move the camera up a little bit, but. Well, welcome in everybody. Hello, we'll be starting in about 3 minutes. For those who are joining us. Start at 6:30 on the
We can turn
nose.
the AC cooler.
Too hot?
It got cold in here earlier.
Oh, I'm
And
sure
I
it
was
did.
cold all day.
By myself.
So I had a sweatshirt on. You know, like in the car, it blows right at you. And,
Yeah.
and my house has the HVAC system.
Welcome.
So
Hi.
I ended up turning it down.
Make sure you sign in and put a ticket in there if you brought a friend or brought something to show.
Welcome everybody on social media, TikTok and Facebook. We're going to start in about 2 minutes. We'll tell you all about we have some announcements, tell you about our new pattern, and we will give you a demo on how we put the pattern together. And then if you want to order a charm pack, then you get a charm pack for $7 tonight and a free pattern and the free pattern to go with it. Here is a code to use at our checkout. Granny'sFabricHouse.com is our website. And yeah, so just watch our demo and listen to all the fun things we have going on. And we'd love for you to share our live out to anybody you know. So if you're a quilter, hopefully you'll enjoy our little demo. 1 more minute.
You guys been having fun?
Do you have any more of that pattern?
We have the pattern.
We do.
Or do you make it? You're gonna get it.
If you buy
You
a
have to buy a charm pack.
I just
You have to buy another.
I'm not
It's a
gonna do
one per
that.
situation.
I
Yeah.
don't want to buy another one.
Yeah.
I'm really seriously trying to get my stash down.
But you got all those
We-
empty totes now.
Uh,
You got all those
Well,
empty
they're-
totes at your house.
they're-
You got all sorts of
They're
things.
like the scrapbook containers, and that's what I use a lot to put a whole project in.
yeah.
And I still have like 7 or 8 of them.
we got a little bit of slapped on the wrist when we went to motivation, and she'll tell you all about that.
too much.
No, just with the Simply Charming Club, one of the rules is you can't sell the pattern, you can't email the pattern. The only way to get a pattern is if you buy a charm pack.
Huh.
So, and we were like, if you just,
Or if you have a friend that buys.
or if you have a friend that buys one for you, or because we were just like, if you just came and you missed all the other months, then we just would give you the patterns. But we can't do that. So.
Remember where I put my folder.
Thank you for all the likes, the
Time to
hearts,
start?
appreciate it. Yep, time to start. 6:30. Let's get the party
Welcome
going.
to Simply Charming Club. First off, we want to apologize to anyone who came last week. We tried to get the word out to everybody, but our
It's stupid.
emails whoever it wants to, and not everyone on the list. I never got the email, so. Anyway, so we're
I'm
working
trying to
on
fix that.
Okay, so if you came, sorry about that. Just a couple of announcements. We are doing a block of the month. Lori is the teacher. Do you want to tell them about it?
Sure.
Okay.
So doing a block of the month, I'm the teacher. I'm also Lori. It's going to be the Christmas crew, the Lila Boutique Christmas crew. I just finished, like it's literally hot off the presses. I've got the top, it's not quilted yet. The borders aren't on, but it was hot when I was rolling it up. So you're the first human being other than myself to see it. How about you just hop up here? I'll hand it to you. You can stand up here.
I don't think I can get up there.
Okay.
Need the
And
ladder.
hold. I got it rolled up.
Look how big that thing is.
Okay,
Like you wouldn't
see?
think it's that big, but we're gonna unroll it.
We're gonna
Woo!
That's so fun.
Cute.
And then it does need
Beth,
one more
turn
round
this
of
way a little
borders. The
bit.
border will be in this, the magic dot. So it's going to finish at 80.5 by 80.5, so it's a really good size. We'll get it done in 4 months. So got it broken up over 4 months. I just got this one done in about that many days. So it is very, very doable. So it's going to be really fun, and you can sign up. Sign up is open,
Granny's,
right?
yep, Granny'sFabricHouse.com. It's $5 to register, $39.99 a month for the 4 months, and you'll have it done by Christmas. So,
You're starting in July is our first
yep,
month.
starting in July.
Know the date of the demo?
Yes, and we'll have a demo on July.
Did we write it down?
We should
I
have.
wrote it down
I
somewhere.
think we will the third.
That's my dad there.
The third Saturday of every month
Yeah, the third Saturday of every month, so July 19th, and then whatever August.
at like 4:30.
I thought we decided 10 a.m.
Oh yeah, we did. We decided 10 a.m. But
I'm
you're
fresh in the
right.
morning. I'm sorry if you're not a morning person, but I am.
10 a.m. will be our demos, and we'll demo live too at this as well. So, for those
be
who
super
are
fun.
online.
Okay, so if you're interested in that, sign up is open. How many spots are available? Do you know?
I think there's 12 spots left.
12 spots. All right. The other thing is Vanessa just started our YouTube channel. So if you go to Granny's Fabric House on YouTube, you'll be able to watch this live and the others. On Facebook, they only keep them on there for 30 days. So if you miss it, it just disappears, but it will still be on YouTube. And we are going to start something where if you come in, we haven't got it quite together yet, but you guys get like the
10
first
a.m.
little
Mountain
peek at
Standard
it.
Time.
That if you come in and show us that you like, subscribe, or follow us on the social media platforms, you will get a little prize depending how many of the different ones you follow us on.
Yes.
It'll be
Because Vanessa likes to give things away.
Different value amounts to the different ones.
That's a little, you give me something, I give you something.
Yeah, it's kind of a thank you for following us. Are there any other announcements that I'm forgetting? I don't think so. I think that's it. Okay. What? You know, Vanessa and I were at Motivations last week.
Really quick, I'm going to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
About the block of the month, even if you can't come to the demo, you can still participate in the block of the month. It's just the demo is just if you have questions or need help on any part of the quilt, Lori will
And
be
I'll
here
talk
to-
through, and because I've made this quilt top now twice.
Yes.
And I'll talk through any little tips and tricks that I found to be helpful.
Yeah, and we'll do it online too, so we'll do them live. So if you're not here, you can join live from wherever you are. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So we're not going to overwhelm you with everything that we've learned at Motivations.
Yet.
But yet. We'll do it, give you like smaller little peeks at what we learned. One of the things that we found out is they really stressed with Simply Charming that there are 3 rules. And I'm not going to say we were breaking the rules, we were just bending them a little bit, but we have to be a little...
I know nothing.
We have to be a little more strict on it. So the first rule is to get the pattern, you have to buy a charm pack. We can't just give you the pattern, we can't sell it to you. You have to buy a charm pack to get the pattern.
So if you want past patterns, you have to, and you want like tonight's and a past one, you'll have to buy 2 charm packs in order to get this another pattern.
Okay, does that make sense? Rule number 2 is we are not allowed to email or post the instructions online anywhere. So since we're doing this live, we're going to be a little more careful. I'm not going to give you the sizes we cut everything, but that is in the pattern. You've probably seen other videos where they say this isn't my pattern, so I can't give you the sizes. But that is in the pattern, and the patterns are very well written. So it shouldn't be a problem. I'll just kind of go over it and say the big piece and the little piece. Then the third rule, I think we're doing a really good job on this one. At least I am. It's the third rule is to have fun, and I think that I'm having a great time doing this, and so
We hope you
guys
all are
having
too.
fun too. Then we added one more rule just for our program, the way that we're doing it, since we're giving such a discount on the charms, the charm packs, that when you come in for the demo, you can get your charm pack for $7. If you can't make it to the demo, then you'll have to pay regular price for it.
And the 10% is just if you come to the demo too. Like that's you get your charm pack for $7 and you get your 10% discount. Like if it's too busy after the demo's over and you want to leave and come back tomorrow, like you get that 10% and that $7 as long as you're here, so you can get it Wednesday, any day, anytime Wednesday or anytime Thursday, just as long as you come to the demo. But if you don't make it, then you snooze, you lose.
You can still get your charm pack and pattern, you just have to pay full price.
Yeah.
Okay, did anybody bring a show and tell today? Okay, let's start right here. Make sure that you signed in. We just use that kind of for our information. We're not really doing much with it. It's just interesting to see who comes every time and who
How many?
wants, and so that's all we use that for. And then make sure you get your ticket in if you brought a friend or brought something to show us.
So
Ooh, so pretty.
I used the little leftover pieces to do the rose in.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
And Cheyenne quilted it for me really fast.
Oh,
so it could be
that
done
was nice
here
of her.
today.
What's your back look like?
It's a really soft.
Oh.
That's beautiful.
Is it minky? Or is
I
it
don't know
like
what
a
it is.
flannelly fleece?
You tell me what it is. It's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
naked.
it's like I think it's more like a fleece blanket.
It is.
Actually, yep.
Yeah.
Pretty,
That's beautiful.
very pretty.
Okay, we'll just kind of go along the front row and then work our way back on the next row.
Anybody else on the
Anybody
front
else?
rows?
The one here.
My mother-in-law's I can show.
Okay.
I just have what she finished before she left town, so she's just doing one
I
of the
don't know.
4th of July ones.
Okay.
They're not all put together yet.
Let me
Oh, that is very
turn
cute.
this way.
Cute little stars. I didn't make it, so I can't.
You can still be like cute.
That is cute.
Okay. Should we,
It's over
Julie,
here.
do you have one? I don't know. Can you look and see if they can see?
So I was also had to do a full-size quilt for veterans, so this kind of got put on the back burner. But this
That's
is
okay.
what I've got done so far, and I'm putting it on point, and so it's kind of giving me a little bit of a hassle or a run for my money.
That'll be cute.
That'll be pretty on point.
Trying to figure
And she don't do anything small, so this is not
No.
going to be one of these little ones. It's
Yeah.
going to be like a king
Yeah.
size quilt.
It's
She can't do-
size,
She
so,
can't do small.
Beautiful.
yeah, and then
So
so these are going to be the cornerstones here.
Oh, I love it.
Trying to figure out how I'm going to put the cornerstones in, but yeah.
cute.
It's very cute. Okay, over here.
Second row.
Second row.
This is from the charm pack called Denim and Daisies, I think it is, and I set it on point.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like your dark sashing.
Oh, that's pretty.
I have a little problem on one of my sashing strips, but
Can't tell.
It looks
I don't
I
see
gotta
it.
make a repair, but that's okay.
wow. That is beautiful.
Very nice. It looks great. I love the on point.
I do too.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's one of the Riley Blake's charm packs. But New Beginnings?
Maybe.
Is that what it is?
Oh, I like that.
Ooh, navy. I like that.
That's very cute. It's so fun to see what everybody does.
I like that.
Oh, you got it in a bag this time, so I needed a new bag for the summer.
Oh, awesome.
Cute.
I just had some scraps and I could only make 8, and I was like, well,
That's okay.
make a bag.
I like it. I like it. Very nice.
Anybody else?
In the back row? Tracy? Shanna?
Can't remember
Getcha.
what the
The
materials that which you could call it cowboy
Oh, that. Okay, that one.
and horses.
Oh, that's cute.
And I have
Cute.
and then hers is called 4th of July. Cowboy and 4th of July.
Perfect. Love it. That one's Star Spangled.
Yeah.
I love that. I like that you put the whiter borders on it.
I do.
A little bigger.
Yeah. Very cute. Very cute.
That's perfect comfort size for you.
It's like totally my size. It covers me completely, which is sad.
Okay, does anybody else have show and tell? Okay, so this
That's
month
why we chose.
we are doing this one. Get it down. Should have got it down ahead of time. It's called Honeycomb. And I did it out of a vintage Christmas. Okay, I usually have them quilted. This time I couldn't decide if I wanted to.
She was busy in Dallas.
Yeah, I was
Let's not lie.
busy. I probably could have got it done when we got back, but I wanted your opinion. You know how it's always fun to bounce ideas off of people. So I need your help. Should we do a border or no border? So these are the border options that we came up with. I'd probably do like a 3 or 4 inch border if I do one. So there's that one.
So that's border 1
That's border
with the
one.
subway. Let's see if we can show them a little bit closer in live world too.
Okay, and
I'm
then
gonna come on this side and we're gonna do this
What
border
are you
on
going to
this
use
side.
it for?
I don't know.
Let's show them up here too. So border 1 is the subway
because
art.
it was a table
Border
top,
2
and it
is the
might-
bells.
You might want to
Scooch this way, just so border 1.
Border 1, subway art. Border 2, the bells.
Good.
Okay,
So,
so border 1, border 2, or no borders. So we'll
Which-
vote. Border 1, raise your hand if you like border 1. Okay, border 2. That's about half and half. This
no
time.
borders.
And no borders.
I say no borders.
Border.
One of each.
Border 1 is the backing and the binding.
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
That would be cute.
That was so cute. Okay, let me go see if anybody on live land voted.
No, stick this back up here. So that-
See, anybody voted? Oh, goody. No, nobody voted on Liveland, so that's
Okay.
fine. They
Still
can
can.
comment later when they watch it again.
Okay, so we will start the demo on this one. To make this one, you need a charm pack. You can take 6 of them out. You only need 36 with this one. So depending on your charm pack and your background fabric, you can take either the light ones out, just the ones you don't like, whatever. But
Honeycomb.
or you can use all of them and add 1 row to it, make it just a little bit bigger. So if you're making it the size the pattern says, you need 36 of your squares. You need 1 yard of whatever you want for your background. And as long as you make it this size, you'll need more if you make it bigger. And then a 3rd yard for the binding and 1 and an 1/8 yards for backing. Okay. So when you cut your charm square, this time you need the whole 5 inches. So don't trim off the pink edges or you're going to run out. You will cut 1 strip from your charm square that is like that size, and then you'll cross cut it. Then you'll cut another strip that is this size. And from that, you'll have 2 squares and then a little rectangle. Can you see it?
You're good. I'm just going to adjust these and move them a little
And
bit.
then you'll cut 1 more strip, and that one you don't cross cut. Just leave it. So your charm square will be cut up like that, and that is in. There's a little diagram in your instructions that show you that. Then you will cut your background. All the background pieces are the same size, so you'll just cut some strips and then cross cut them. And they're the same size as this one. Any questions so far? Looking good? Okay. Then you'll take one of these. It's the flip and stitch method to get your little corners.
Or
So
also known as a snowball method.
Yep, or snowball.
The new term is flip and stitch.
Right.
Stitch and flip.
Stitch and flip. Or snowball.
Yeah. we learned that at Motivation.
You just do 1 corner. And you'll need to, however you like to mark yours. You can draw a diagonal line from point to point on these little squares. You can use the diagonal seam tape. We've talked about that before. Have you guys all used diagonal seam tape before? You just take a little piece. I was going to find our open roll, but I didn't. So it's kind of tacky. It's kind of like painter's tape, I would say.
It's washi tape.
So yeah,
If you
so
know
it
what washi tape is.
doesn't leave a residue on your sewing machine. But you just rip off a piece. It's this long, however much space you have between your needle and the front of your machine. And just tape that on. You line your needle up with the red line on the tape. And then when you're sewing this, you would put this point under your needle and then keep this point on the red line as you're feeding it through your machine. And that way you don't have to mark the line. It's like drawing your line. It keeps you from getting that, sometimes you get like a curve in the middle when you're just trying to eye it up. It keeps everything nice and straight. So we have the diagonal seam tape. A roll of this lasts a long time. You can just leave the tape on your machine until eventually it starts to kind of curl up and come off a little bit. And then you just take another little piece and replace it. So it lasts a long time. But if you're like me, why would you use the white and black and red when you could use black and hot pink? So we just got this one in the shop. And so I'll probably be buying one of those. It has the hot pink line that you follow. You can also use this if you want to make like a 1/4 inch seam. Then you would just keep your point on the black line. Sometimes you'll sew both sides of that line you drew. If you're doing that, keep the point of your little square on the black line instead, and then you flip it around and put it on the other black line.
Does the black and, because I'm thinking I'm making a purchase tonight as well, does the black and pink one also have all 3 lines as well?
It does.
Oh,
Both lines are
nice.
pink and white. And so you would just line it up with the pink line or with the white lines.
Yes.
But I just like that one. Okay, then at Motivations, one of the ladies there was using this ruler. Let me get my little piece off of here. Put this on earlier.
Sorry, I taped it real good.
So Doug makes the ruler. It comes in a little package like this. We also have the larger size.
We only have the larger
Yeah, we
size.
only have the large
sold the
size.
rest
We
of them
sold
this
out
morning,
of these
sorry.
this morning, but we are getting more. They're in
Yes.
the motor cart. But anything you can do with this one, you can also do with this one.
Mhm.
So if you want one tonight, this is just a little smaller, so depending on your workspace.
And the size of piecing you like to do.
Right. So I'm not one that buys every newest ruler and template. I don't love using templates, but I really like this ruler. I tried it out so I could tell you if I liked it or not. And
Can I just read really quick? Like this big one, the back of it, it says 12 different sizes, right and left-handed instructions, a free video demo on our website, and use with any pattern calling for folded corners, no drawing lines, and remarkably accurate. So it helps you with those flip and stitch corners to become super stitch and flip, whatever.
Do yours ever kind of,
Yeah.
mine end up a little wonky sometimes.
All
and
the time, guilty.
This really helped. Even when I draw the line, somehow it ends up a little wonky sometimes.
Oh, I know
So-
who that is.
So the difference between, well, other than the size, this one you can do 7 sizes, that one is 12. The big one is 12 sizes. So the way you use this ruler is you take your piece of fabric, you have your little square lined up in the corner. You don't have to draw the line on it. So you just stick that up. You would not have the tape sticking off yours because I was trying to hold it this morning and it kept falling. So then you line up on the ruler. Can you guys see it? If I hold it in front of me, can you see it better?
Here, put this bright pink in front of it. Or the yellow. Actually, let's do the yellow would
Yellow.
be better.
Okay. So you can see it has these different lines. This line that goes along here, that is your stitch line. The one that's in a 1/4 inch. That's going to show you where your stitch line is going to be. So when you're lining up your little triangle piece on here, flip it around. And get one lined up so I don't get it backwards. I'm doing it a little different than I did it earlier, like the other side. I'll take that down. It's not perfectly straight, but it'll give you an idea. And then the tape will work better. So you line it up. There's a line that comes down this way. You want that to be on the edge of your little square.
You totally did that wrong.
That's not gonna work. Oh, that's not gonna work. This is better. I just like this is not looking right. There you go.
That's much better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Reverse.
Sorry.
Try again.
Okay, so this. So you're gonna line up this line with the edge of your square. There's another line that goes this direction. You line up that square. There's also lines out here so you can make sure your big square is straight. Once you get everything lined up, which this isn't straight, but
Pretend it is.
pretend it is, then you would just use your rotary cutter and cut along this edge. So what you're doing is cutting off this piece. When you do the normal stitch and flip way, you sew your seam and then you cut off the corner that you don't need and then you press it. On this, you're cutting it ahead of time. So once you go, then you just use this as your 1/4 inch edge. So you didn't have to draw anything. You didn't have to try to get the angle right with your normal ruler. It just helps line everything up. So you cut off this part, then you use your 1/4 inch foot and just sew along the edge. That's your edge.
So you wouldn't have to change out your sewing machine foot if
No.
you hypothetically sew with the flange.
Right,
Right.
the gated
Oh,
one.
that's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole the really nice thing about this ruler is before you trim it, like everything's squared up perfect. So it's squared up, your top little piece, your small little piece is all squared up, so when you do trim it, like, and if it falls off, you just put it back on and match up that angle and it's still perfectly square.
Nice.
So that's why you get such a better accuracy this way than if you're drawing your lines and it slips or whatever. That angle's already there, you just match it right back up to.
And I find that sometimes when I'm drawing the line, because you're drawing on bias, sometimes it
Mhm. It
stretches
stretches,
a
yeah.
little bit. So I really liked this ruler. You can do it without. You could just use a normal ruler and cut. You'd have to like measure over and stuff. But this way you can see that everything is square before you cut. Cut it, sew it, You don't have to trim off that part. As soon as you're done sewing, you're ready to press. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You do the cutting before you sew instead of after. So you have to do it either way. You also can use it if you want to stitch on both sides of the diagonal line. You can still use this ruler, and there's instructions. I didn't do that, so I'm not going to try to explain that. But there's instructions in here that do it, and I believe there's a video.
There is, yep.
So there's
On
a
their
video
website.
if you want to watch how they probably have like the overhead camera and everything, so it's easier to see in their video. So once you do that, you'll have two pieces that look like this. And then you'll have your big pieces. And so then you're ready to sew your block together.
Oh.
So it's pretty fast. There's not a lot of pieces in this one. So then you'll sew these two pieces together, and it'll look like this. And then flip this one the other way and sew it together. Some people call this the bow tie block. So do that. Then you're ready to sew this seam. So you sew that, and like magic, there it is.
Wish it all went that fast.
I know.
Snap, and it's there.
And then you have a whole stack of them. Any questions on how to do that so far?
Do you press towards the dark?
I usually press towards the dark, unless it says much. I don't remember what the pattern says. Some of these patterns say to press open. You can press open. I'm a press to one side unless I can see a reason not to.
Me too.
So I pressed mine towards the dark side on all of those. So then, once you get, let's take all these down, get them out of our way.
I can't wait till this becomes our classroom, because then we're gonna have a whole design wall,
Yeah.
and then you won't have to worry about it.
Right, it'll be lots easier. Then you're ready to start laying out your rows. So you just alternate the direction of the block. All your blocks are like this, and you'll just alternate which way you put them on here. So this block went together pretty fast. It's pretty straightforward. And you'll have 6 across. I can't reach that far, and my board's not that big, so I'm not going to do that. And then this next row would go this direction. So they alternate across this way, but they also alternate going up and down. And you kind of get this little O in the middle. Once you get your rows together, it will look like this. And you'll have 6 rows across and 6 rows up and down.
That looks so different
Yeah.
And then the other one?
than the other one
with the
because
different
there's
color
more
pop.
contrast.
There it is. Okay, and then you may be wondering, so on this one, this little rectangle is an extra piece. When you cut your strip and you have your 2 little squares, this is an extra piece. I'm interested to see what you guys do with this extra piece.
Yes.
But this strip is what you use for this little border. You sew all of these little strips together end to end and then cut them the size you need for the border. So, and on this one, I meant to do this morning and I forgot. So I'm going to go over because this quilt does have 3 borders. If you make a mistake cutting your first border and sewing that on, and then you make the same mistake again, and then again on the third one, you could have a really wonky quilt. So do you guys all know how to measure for borders?
To measure in the middle.
Yeah,
That
so
we
you'll
measure
measure
the right way.
across the middle of your quilt,
Yeah.
then the top of the quilt and the bottom of the quilt.
Or
and
if you're
take the
weird, if you're weird
average.
like me, I do 5. I do top, a quarter, half, a quarter, and then the bottom.
Yeah, and you can do that and lay it out, measure it. If you do your 3 measurements and they're all the same, you're probably fine to just go ahead and do it. If they're not the same, you're going to want to get the average of those. Then you can kind of, like if my top is a little bit bigger than the bottom, I can kind of ease in the top a little bit and stretch the bottom just a little bit to make them the same. You want, after you put your first border in, you want it to be square.
Mm-hmm.
So when I measured mine to put on my border, my quilt wasn't exactly the size that the pattern says it should be. Mine was just like a 1/4 inch smaller. So I just cut my borders a 1/4 inch smaller. So I never cut my border at the beginning of the quilt. I always piece the top, then I'll measure, do my measurements, get my average, then cut the borders. But on this one, because it's a square quilt, I would, well, you'd still have the top and bottom. So cut the top piece and the bottom piece the same length. And then if you fold those strips, I should have had one of those, but so what I do to do mine is I fold this in half, find the center of your quilt, find the center of your border strip, pin that, pin the ends, and then you can see if you need to ease or stretch a little bit. If like your border is bubbling up a little bit, you can stretch the quilt a little to make it fit.
Unless you're weird like Vanessa and I do mine in fourths.
Well, I will
All
do
I have
that.
to do is remember to divide it by 4.
Right. So I'll pin on each end and in the middle. Then I go back and add a couple more pins in between. So I pin probably about every 10 to 12 inches and make sure that, and on a big quilt I would do 4ths.
Yeah.
If this size
Oh,
of
that
quilt,
size, yeah. That size I would
I
probably
just
just
did
do
the
half.
middle,
Yeah.
both ends, and then made sure I had a couple other pins in the middle of that, just to make sure it's going on straight. You don't want, if you're trying to ease in fullness, you don't want to do all of that in the last 2 inches of your quilt. If you're easing it in over the whole width of the quilt, it's
Easier.
a lot easier.
The other thing that I do is if my fullness is on the bottom, then I'll put that on my feed dogs. Or if my fullness is in my border, then I'll put my border on my feed dogs.
Yeah.
So
That's
wherever
The saggy side on the bottom.
whichever
saggy
one is
side.
bigger, you
Mhm.
want that on the bottom. And I could never remember that. And years ago, a teacher told me, we all think we have big bottoms. So the big one goes on the bottom. Since then, I can remember it. So whichever piece is bigger, that you want that on the bottom. The feed dogs will just help ease that through. So once you have cut your top borders, you've got those sewn on, now you need to measure top to bottom. And you do the same thing. Measure at least in the middle and both sides, average it out. You can do more measurements. If you're off a little bit, I would. But if it's pretty square, you can just do the 3 measurements. Then cut both of your side borders the same size and do the same process. Find the center of both of them, put a pin in the center, each end, and then ease it in if you need to. Put a few more pins in there. And
Bless you.
you'll do the same thing even on this little tiny narrow border. You're going to want to find the center, cut it the right length, and then ease it in if you need to. Just make sure it all fits. Sometimes borders will stretch a little bit, so that's why you can ease that in a little bit if you need to. If as you've handled it, it has stretched. So that's a good way to get a nice square quilt, because it's no fun if your borders are wavy, or have you ever laid out your quilt and the top kind of bubbles up? That's because your borders are too small. So if their borders are wavy, they're too big. If the quilt's kind of poofed up, it means you cut your borders too small. So that will help get a nice flat square quilt. And if you take your quilt to a long armor, she will love you if
Yes, she
you
will.
have a nice flat quilt.
Yes.
And that's like that's probably the easiest place to mess up. You can have your quilt top beautiful, and then it's really easy to get the borders on wrong and make it funky, especially those big quilts where you've got a long seam. The feed dogs are just going to pull the fabric through a little faster, and so you can't sew a long seam like that without pinning and have it come out not
Nice.
even. So, any questions on that?
My kids used to hate that stage of
Right?
I feel like
Here,
some
you
of the-
hold it there, and I'll hold it here, and you
Yeah.
pin that.
Do you want to finish up with those online really quick, and then
Yeah,
we'll
let's
end
tell
our
everybody
live?
online goodbyes. So, online, if you want to order your charm pack, you can go ahead and order it. Vanessa will hold up our code again. Put the code on there, and then also in the notes section, put Simply Charming. And that your total might not look correct when you go to check out, but we will adjust it before your card is charged. So use the code. It's only good for today and tomorrow, so make sure you do that. in the shop, we do a drawing if you bring a show and tell. We want everybody online to have the same chance. So if you make something using our pattern, then post a picture of that and use hashtag Simply Charming Club and Granny's Fabric House.
And tag us in the post.
And tag us in the post. And then we will enter your name in the drawing for free fabric for a year.
And our website is granniesfabrichouse.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and then it's every